So usually with these videos, we don't reveal the identity of an owner. Yachting, it's all about exclusivity and privacy after all. However, with today's yacht, we really don't have a choice. Because once you see the interiors, you'll know immediately that it was commissioned by someone rather special. Then a quick Google later, you'll know exactly who we're talking about. Today, we'll be taking you aboard Regina D'Italia, a 65-meter built by Codecasa, but guided by none other than the current owner and fashion legend, Stefano Gabbana. She's never been for sale charter before, so this really is her debut to the world. She really is something different, something special, and I'm almost willing to wager unlike anything you've ever seen before. So I really am excited to show you around, and with that, let's get right into it. Now, before we dive into things today, I'd like to dedicate some time to speak about the build and the structure of this yacht, because she really is quite something, as you'll see. And even standing here on the beach club and looking up, the structure does look rather imposing. Now, Codecasa are known for their exceptional build quality, and that reputation, I believe, is fully justified here on Regina D'Italia. The yacht was built in 2019 and has been owned by the same owner ever since. She's just over 1,200 gross tons, has a sturdy steel hull and aluminum superstructure. She was built to LY3 standards and is REGINA classed. Now, she winters every year in Viareggio, which means she's been kept in top condition with constant maintenance and upgrades. Now, all of these details might not sound incredibly glamorous, but they are important to understand the quality to which this yacht has been not only built, but also maintained by the fantastic crew on board. So what's important to bear in mind as we go through the tour, that it's really the structure, the build, and the spaces on board that make this yacht a standout platform and very attractive to potential buyers. The layout is smart and the volumes are truly massive. So you can easily reimagine the interiors to suit whatever style you like. You're free to do as you please. The endless storage and the flexible areas throughout make this a great yacht for a new owner to put their stamp on. So up here on the main deck aft, you really get a true sense of appreciation for how much space there is. The yacht feels quite beamy. We've got a U-shaped sofa back here, coffee table in the center, and then we have this vast open space and artwork to either side. Now, do keep in mind, and this is a point I'd like to hammer home, you really can redesign this space to fit your needs, to fit your sense of style. Really, you could turn this space into whatever you like. It could be an alfresco dining area, it could be a bar, it could be an outside party lounge. Now, the options are limitless and the space is there for it. Stepping into the main salon is where you get your first sense of the interior. And, I hope I've dressed appropriately for the occasion, because it does feel like entering a fashion show. And not surprisingly, as the entire yacht was custom designed under the watchful eye of Stefano Gabbana. Now, it was, however, Milan-based M2 Atelier, the design studio, that tied it all together and helped this design come to life. Now, in the interior, you notice there's 3 reoccurring themes and elements that dominate the overall design. And that is the use of silk, lacquered wood, and mirrors. Now, you'll notice that the ceilings are covered by mirror panels, and that does make it quite challenging to film. So, if you see Matthias, our cameraman, in the reflection, please do forgive us. Now, say what you want about the style, but I promise you, you'll never have seen anything quite like it on a yacht. And you probably won't forget it quickly either. And I think that kind of defining character is exactly what custom yacht building is all about. The layout here truly is fantastic for a potential future buyer. It's huge, we've got these nice open spaces, and most importantly, there's no structural obstacles. You've got sofas lining both sides, a big comfy U-shaped seating area in the middle, and loads of built-in storage, especially near the entrance. So storage certainly won't be a problem on here. Further forward, we've got this Fornasetti designer table. We've got the same graphic print that you've seen on the walls. It sits 10 people very comfortably. And one thing I quite like are these somewhat playful looking chairs. I believe they're Baroque inspired. We've got some gold, some blue, just nice little touch. I'd say it's a great setting for a formal dinner in the evening or even a formal lunch. We're heading into the master stateroom. First we hit the lobby, and the lobby is actually serviced by a gold-plated elevator, and it's in line with what you might expect. There's gold everywhere, there's mirrored surfaces. I've got to admit, I've had a bit of fun riding it up and down, but quite frankly, you've got to keep in mind there's also a practical element to it for guests that have trouble getting around the yacht. It is quite big, there are a lot of stairs. Now moving forward, we've got a dayhead over here, and then to starboard, we've got some storage, loads of storage, as you recall. So moving further forward, we've got access to the side decks, so you can actually walk all the way back to the main deck aft. If you so wish, you need some exercise. Anyways, if you move down these steps, you get access to the guest cabins. There's 4 of them down there. We'll get to that later. And then up those steps over there, we get up to the Sky Lounge. But let's continue this tour on the main deck aft, and let's head into the master stateroom, which, you know, I think I can confidently say if it's not the most impressive master stateroom I've ever seen, it surely is the largest master stateroom I've ever seen. So without further ado, let's go into it. Coming into the master stateroom, I can really say that it feels more like a massive open plan apartment rather than a stateroom on a yacht. Full beam, plenty of light, and the bed right in the center. Now what's cool is the way the materials keep changing. So you've got silk over here, astrakhan, wood, mirrors everywhere, but somehow it just all works. And the best part is, there's almost no structural limitations. So if you wanted to completely rework the layout, you absolutely could. In fact, this space was originally designed as 2 mirrored cabins, split right down the middle. But after the first year, the owner came to the realization that truly you can never have enough space, and that this solution just makes so much more sense and works so much better. The portholes were also added after the launch, and they're a good example of why it can be better to buy on the brokerage market once the little issues and kinks that you find after actually living on board have been ironed out. And then even further forward, we've got 2 mirrored en-suites on either side, and they're finished in the most beautiful blue Brazilian marble. I think a nice touch. It is a bit of a change as opposed to the white marble that you'll find in most other yachts. And then there's a desk to port, a huge TV just ahead, and a big built-in seating on both sides. Then aft to port and starboard, you've got 2 enormous walk-in wardrobes, and quite frankly, that's not surprising given the owner's background, but it's definitely a luxury that anyone can appreciate. And now, let's continue moving and head into the guest accommodation. Here on the lower deck, we have accommodation for up to 8 guests. Forward, we have 2 mirrored twin cabins to port and to starboard. Let's have a closer look at one of the VIPs. As you'd expect, it's smaller than the master stateroom, but of course still incredibly generous. There's loads of storage. Now the biggest difference here is the use of lighter blue marble in the bathrooms rather than the somewhat darker marble used in the master. Personally, I love blue, so I'd be more than happy to stay here. And of course, all the AV equipment is up to date. This is a 2019 build after all. There's invisible TVs in the walls, everything is iPad controlled, or you can even connect your own iPhone. Super simple and slick. The hand-shaped handles are down here too. And some of them, well, let's just say we won't be showing them on camera from every angle. You'll need to come on board to appreciate the more, shall we say, creative figure arrangements. But for now, let's continue with the guest spaces, and we're gonna be heading 2 floors up, but, why walk when you have a gold-plated elevator? So we're gonna take it for a ride. So here we are. Took a bit longer than expected. I hate to admit it, but I pressed the wrong button. But at least we know the elevator works fine. So we're here on the upper deck, and we've got access to the outside decks over there. We've got 2 day heads up here as well, and then of course the Sky Lounge right around the corner. Up here, the design is very similar to the main salon. We've got that same bold style and even the scale is similar. It's truly massive. Here you've got the elevation and the views. You've got a massive TV, huge windows with panoramic ocean views, and if you sit on the sofas along the sides, the ceiling reflects the water in a way that makes you feel like you're completely surrounded by the sea. It's a really clever, immersive design features, and the sofa right in the center looks like the perfect spot to take a nap. Blackout blinds mean you can easily turn it into a cinema. There's an invisible crew door to port, and that kind of hidden access is repeated throughout the boat. Same goes for storage. There's loads of it, but it's all hidden and built in. It's very versatile space too for a potential new owner in terms of the layout. You could easily adapt it into a more entertainment-focused lounge, install a bar, or you could turn it into a family room if you're planning to have kids on board. And so from here, we'll walk out onto the upper deck aft. So out here, we've got this huge space. The way it's currently configured is we have breakfast stations to port and to starboard, and then right in the center, we have this beautiful Brazilian top marble table. It's currently configured for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guests. You could pull up more chairs if you wanted to, and certainly the way it's set up today, I'd say it's worthy of kings. We've got these gold chalices, and believe me, you know, just picking up the chalice and lifting it, you get a good workout in. These things are really, really heavy. So interestingly, this whole area can actually be enclosed, and by that I mean there's glass wind protection that comes all the way around. And so the entire dining area can be turned into an indoor area. It'd be fully air conditioned if it's really hot outside, maybe you're in Dubai, or perhaps it's a bit windy and you just want to be out of the wind, and inside, well, that's where your glass comes in. So just a very, very versatile space. Furthest aft, there's a relaxed seating area, a perfect spot to unwind. So for now, let's stay on this deck and move forward along the side decks onto the foredeck. So up here on the foredeck, this is more of a technical operational area, but we do have this lovely little seating area over here, and it's a perfect spot to soak in the sun and catch a bit of the breeze. On this yacht, you've got a dedicated space for that kind of experience up on the Sundeck, and we'll come to that shortly. You've just got to have a bit more patience. Here on the foredeck, you have a huge storage compartment that hydraulically slides forward to reveal a crane and the oh so important SOLAS rescue equipment. There is truly an enormous amount of storage here, which really adds to the yacht's versatility, especially for an owner who travels extensively or wants to operate in remote locations. I believe it's a smart layout that'll hopefully appeal to a wide range of potential buyers. Staying on this deck, we're going to head over to the wheelhouse. So here we are on the wheelhouse, and if you've watched any of our other videos, you'll know immediately that this space is special. It's something else. I mean, it looks like straight out of a sci-fi movie. You've got these enormous digital touchscreens, beautifully spaced out, and the whole layout is just incredibly neat and clean. Usually, these areas are so much more cluttered. The captain on board gave us a detailed tour yesterday. It's worth pointing out that he's been here since the build, and it really shows. Not only does he love this space, but it's also clear that the yacht's been meticulously managed and maintained by someone who knows it inside and out. As you'd expect, this bridge is fully integrated and it's connected to all the state-of-the-art systems we've got down below. Engines are twin Cat 3516C, cruising at 15 knots with a top speed of 18.5 knots. Thanks to her 160,000 liter fuel tank, she's good for 5,000 nautical miles, and in addition, she carries 35,000 liters of fresh water. And another really important thing to point out is that she's incredibly stable. The zero-speed stabilizers really do their job, and I can attest to that firsthand as I was lucky enough to stay on board last night. And the conditions, well, let's say they weren't exactly calm, but she barely moved. The stabilization system on this yacht is fantastic. And that's something you really need to bear in mind when thinking about purchasing a yacht, because the last thing you want is to get stuck with a yacht that moves and rocks and makes you seasick. And that would really ruin your experience. Just to the back of the wheelhouse, you have the captain's office, you've got your radios in there, you've got a computer in there, so anything captain might need while he's up here, other than the bridge, of course. Behind the captain's office, that's where the captain's cabin is. It's a dedicated single cabin. It's quite a spacious space, conveniently located, and offers great views. And then one last room on this floor is tucked away further amidships. And it's currently set up as a small study, but was once a massage room and could certainly be reconfigured that way if a new owner chose to do that. Maybe he's a fan of massages. Now let's get back to the topic of accommodation, and more specifically, crew accommodation. Because let me assure you, the last thing you want to do is buy a yacht with cramped crew quarters and a miserable crew. An important consideration when thinking about buying a yacht, because a happy crew means better service and smoother experience for everyone. Now, fortunately, there's no shortage for space for the crew here. We've got a thoughtfully designed crew mess featuring 2 lounges separated by sliding doors and 3 dining areas. And so the team has a proper space to relax and eat between shifts. We spent some time with the crew on board yesterday, and over the course of today, we'll be spending some more time with them, and they do appear genuinely happy with the layout. And that, believe me, really does matter. Behind the crew mess, we've got 7 twin crew cabins, each with their ensuite bathroom, as well as 1 single cabin for the chief engineer. The entire setup is smart, comfortable, and efficient, and it's exactly what you want from a crew area that supports high-level service. One deck up from the crew accommodation on the lower deck is the Galley, and it's a key part of keeping both guests and crew happy. It's fully equipped with top-of-the-line appliances and built to professional standards, allowing the chef to prepare truly exceptional meals. Whether it's formal dining or late-night snacks, the Galley certainly delivers. And now that we're finally done with this deck, it's time for the Sundeck. So up on the Sundeck, we're going to start all the way forward with what is one of my favorite areas. It's a poolside sunbathing area, nice and secluded, and right in the center we've got this amazing 7-meter pool. It's mosaic lined. We got a matching blue marble wall, just a beautiful stylish area. You can come here, sit on one of the many sunbeds, soak in the sun, hop in the pool to cool off. Just a great spot at any time of day. It has an autofill system, which ensures that the pool stays at the perfect water level, and thanks to a dedicated water tank, it's also highly efficient. Just a very cool spot, both in terms of aesthetics and function. We're heading over to the gym, and that's a great little area. It's very well appointed. It's the perfect spot to get a sweat and a pump, or potentially both, on right before breakfast. And as a bonus, you get to be enjoying these beautiful views. So I know this is where you'd find me every morning, given all the great food that you're probably going to be having while on board. Currently, the gym is equipped with some quality gear, including a cross trainer and mirrors, but of course, you can configure it however you like. There is a dome in the ceiling, which reminds you of the Pantheon in Rome, and it gives you the height clearance to do things like jump rope. The doors, of course, on either side open up to let in some of that fresh sea breeze. This area could easily be reimagined as a wellness spa or yoga retreat. It's a flexible space with huge potential depending on your lifestyle. Right behind the gym on the starboard side, we've got a shower and a bathroom where you can freshen up after a workout. After all, nobody wants you walking around all sweaty. And then furthest aft, we get to this huge entertainment area, which is centered right around this oversized bar where you get to pick your poison. You have stools right at the bar and a comfortable seating area just beyond, with blue armchairs similar to the ones in the interior, positioned under a bimini. It's a great setup whether you want to be shaded from the sun or sitting right in it. A perfect spot for evening cocktails, relaxed lunches, or simply soaking in the views with friends. So now we're going to head all the way back down to the swim platform to wrap things up for today. So now that we're back at the waterline, there's 2 features that you may not have noticed this morning when we boarded the yacht because they weren't visible. So there's this extendable section of the swim platform which serves 2 purposes. For one, it makes an even larger space out of what is already an impressive swim platform. And purpose number 2 is it allows easy access to the water. The other feature that wasn't apparent when stepping on board the yacht was the transom that actually opens up upwards and then reveals the tender garage and functional area. Now obviously it's a vast space, but the layout is quite interesting as it's almost ready to be a guest area. We have a marble-clad bathroom to the port side, so this could easily be turned into a fantastic beach club for a new owner. At the moment to port, you have two big industrial washing and drying machines for towels, and then to starboard, you have a garbage disposal. Further forward, you get to the engine rooms, and then further forward again, you get to the laundrette and more dry storage. So now we'll wrap up, and I'll just summarize by saying this. Whether you're a fan of the bold, current look, or keen to make it your own, this yacht is a very attractive platform to build from. She has super impressive spaces, she's been built by a very respected shipyard, and importantly, she's been incredibly well maintained since her build. Please do keep in mind that Regina D'Italia is for sale, so in case you require more details, or even better, if you want to see her in person, we put her contact details down below in the description. And with that, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more great videos just around the corner.